Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be reviewing the Rhodia goalbook. So I just ordered my Rhodia goalbook from jetpens.com and I received it a few days ago and I did unwrap it. So it came in a nice shrink wrap and I took it off just because I wanted to go ahead and take a look at it. I'm going to go through all of the pages with you guys, and I'm also going to go ahead and compare it to my Leuchtturm 1917 and also see how it fits into my A5 Chic Sparrow cover. This is the Rhodia goalbook. I ordered mine from jetpens.com. It was $24.95 when I ordered it, and I ordered it just a few weeks ago, and it seems like Rhodia has expanded their color selection because when I first ordered it, there weren't that many color options, but I just looked it up on JetPens right now. They seem to have it in pink, purple, yellow, green, and they also have it in some of the neutral colors like beige, brown, taupe, red, and all sorts of different colors. So it looks like they've expanded their selection. This is in the A5 size. The color that I got is a royal blue, but it is not as vibrant as my Leuchtturm. It's kind of a little bit more of a muted or toned down blue. The cover is pretty soft, and as you can see, by the time it shipped to me, it had a little indentation there where the elastic had made a mark on the front cover. And it's just because the front cover is kind of a soft, flexible cover. So it is thicker. It's a little bit thicker than a cardstock, but it's just not as solid as, say, the Leuchtturm is. So it came wrapped, it came shrink wrapped, just like this. I took the shrink wrap off just because I couldn't wait any longer. And it had this purple elastic holding it together. So if you take off this little sleeve, it has the Rhodia indentation in there. You can feel the letters and also the little trees. And then down here it says goalbook. When you open it up, it has that nice contrast. It does have two bookmarks, but both of the bookmarks are the same color. Then when you open to the front page has a section just with 4 lines, but I think most people would use this to write their name or say if lost, return to, or anything like that. That is followed by the table of contents. It actually says contents on the top. I'm assuming that's how you say contents in French. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I have a lot. 6 pages for contents, and that's followed by a 6 months on 2 pages. So it has January through June. The months are in French and English, and then you have 1 through 30 or 31 or 29 depending on I don't think it's a leap year this year. Oh, okay. So this actually is not just for 2018. It actually doesn't have any dates attached to it. So that's why for February it goes to February 29th, because it could be one of the years where there is a leap year that you're using this. So that makes sense. So January through June, and it has a little space for you to write. If you're curious, the spaces are, let's see, they're just shy of 2 inches. So they're 1 inch and 7/8 across. So it's January through June. And then you have July through December. And then you have another layout. I noticed this when I opened this earlier. There seems to be a pen mark on this, on the May section, and it was shrink wrapped, so I don't think anyone opened it and then made a pen mark on it or anything like that. I guess it was probably just manufactured that way, and it seems like it's a whole as well. So this has 6 sections just like the last one, but it kind of gives you a different way of parceling out your year. So it has January through June, and it has these little spaces for each of the months. And then it has July through December, the same layout. Then it has a blank page with just their logo, and then you start with the line pages. So the line pages do start at number 1, and then it's just, sorry, it's a dot grid, not line pages. So it's numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successively. And it goes all the way to the last page, which is 224, and then you have this thicker kind of cardstock, and then you have the last page, which also has a file folder or just a pocket for the very back. So how does this guy compare to my Leuchtturm 1917, my tried and true guy? So I'm going to pull him over here just so that you can see the general size comparison. So even though they're both A5, there is a tiny little bit of overhang here. So you can see the Rhodia is just a little bit wider, like the tiniest bit, probably 1/8 of an inch or so. Just about 1/8 of an inch wider. Clearly there are some differences. This is a soft cover, this is a hard cover. The Rhodia does seem to be just a little bit bigger all around, even though, let's see, and the height is also just a tad bit, the smallest bit, just maybe 1/16 of an inch taller as well. So because this is a soft cover and this is a hard cover, this one has the indentation here that I showed you just from it being packed and shipped to me. I've been using this guy for over a year, and there is a slight indentation. There we go, right there. The Rhodia has the 2 bookmarks, but the 2 bookmarks are exactly the same, whereas the Leuchtturm also has 2 bookmarks. Let me go and pull those guys out. But one is a solid color that matches the book, and the other one is a striped one, gray and matching the book. So you know which. You can use these to mark 2 different things, and they're very different, so you can kind of know. For example, I use the blue one for my index, and I use the gray one for the current page that I'm working on when I use the bullet journal system. The other thing to note is that Leuchtturm has these pen holders that you can attach. This is a leather sticker or leatherette sticker that you can use to attach a pen loop. I'm sure you can use the same Leuchtturm brand one on the Rhodia, but it didn't pop up for me in jet pens, and I actually don't know if Rhodia offers the same thing. But this also did not come with this Leuchtturm, so it's not really a difference when you are purchasing them just plain and by themselves. So something else to notice is this one has, the Leuchtturm has 250 pages completely. No, 249, whereas the Rhodia has 224. So there is quite a bit of difference, but that is probably due to the weight of the Rhodia. This paper is much thicker than what you'll find in the Leuchtturm. It is much smoother and it's thicker than the Leuchtturm paper, so it does make sense that they could fit less in. Their profiles are also pretty different. Now this guy, I have been using my Leuchtturm for over a year, like I said. The Rhodia looks just about as thick as the Leuchtturm does, but the Leuchtturm has been used and stickers are in it and things like that. So I think the Rhodia is probably just a tad bit larger, but just mine as they are right now, they're pretty comparable in terms of thickness. Something else to consider is the faintness or how apparent the squares are. So the squares on the Leuchtturm are rather faint. They're this kind of grayish color. Just making sure that the camera's picking that up. And the days or the page numbers are also quite faint. With the Rhodia, the dots are a lot more apparent. As you can see, I don't even have to pick up the book to bring it right up to the camera. You can see the dots a lot quicker, they're a lot darker, and the page numbers are also a little bit easier to read. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that this is a pro for the Rhodia. If you kind of like the dots to fade into the background, the Leuchtturm would probably fade into the background a little bit easier than the Rhodia will. But on the other hand, I also tend to lose my place as I'm writing across for some reason. Sometimes I find myself migrating into another grid. So this might actually help someone like me out when I use my dots to do a lot of writing directly across. Something else to note is the size of the squares. So the Leuchtturm squares are just a tad bit smaller. I'm going to go ahead and bring out my ruler. So they are just about 3/16 of an inch in the Leuchtturm, and they are they're just over 3/16 of an inch in the Rhodia. So I think possibly they just look bigger because they're darker, or maybe they're just spaced out just a tad bit differently. But here are the squares side by side, or the dots side by side. Something else to consider with both the Leuchtturm and the Rhodia A5 goalbook is how it fits into an A5 traveler's notebook cover, if that's something you're interested in. So this is my Chic Sparrow A5. I'm going to go ahead and open it. Right now I have a Hobonichi Techo cousin, a Vec size in here, and I also have a Midori A5 insert. So I actually was interested in the goalbook because I saw Kara from Bohoberry, I'm going to link her channel down below, do a review of this, and she also suggested that because it's soft cover, people might like it in a TN cover or a traveler's notebook cover if they were into traveler's notebooks. So I thought it might work out for me. So the Leuchtturm does work out very nicely in this notebook cover. I pretty much just slide it and it does fit in nicely. Like, this is a big chunker tin, but I kind of like my traveler's notebooks like that. So it fits very nicely, like very easily into the traveler's notebook in terms of size. Again, this is the Chic Sparrow A5 size. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom you guys out just a bit. So as you can see, there's no overhang and it fits nicely in there, and I can fit it in there with my Hobonichi Techo cousin. Well, the Avec at least. I'm gonna slide this guy out and slide in the Rhodia. So it fits rather nicely. I mean, it is getting a little chunky, but not chunkier than one would expect, right? Because I have a full-on Avec in there, I have another insert in there, and I also have the Rhodia goalbook in there. So I can go ahead and strap that closed, and you can see that although it's a little chunky, it fits nicely in there. There's no overhang on any side. So, and if you open it up, it fits nicely in there. I still have other straps that I can probably put other inserts into that are about the size of this guy. And then I have the cousin. For me, I have the cousin in the back strap. I could also just put it into one of the other straps, but I like having the extra strap because I want to make sure that I have room for 6, 7, 8 books, who knows. I really do stuff my traveler's notebook inserts. So in general, I really like the Rhodia. I really love Rhodia paper, so I'm really excited to use this next year. I probably won't start using it until I'm done with my Leuchtturm, because my Leuchtturm seems pretty comparable to me. I've grown attached to it just because I've been using it for so long. I like having it within this A5 Traveler's Notebook cover. I like the A5 size just in general, and I think I like it better for work than even my B6 size. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be migrating into an A5 next year and use an A5 and a B6 or an A5 and an A6. But in general, I really enjoyed this notebook. I like that I can fit it into my Chic Sparrow A5 Traveler's Notebook cover as well. I think it's really comparable to the Leuchtturm, and it has some pluses, especially the paperweight and the darkness of the dots, if that's something that you would prefer to the lighter dots. It also comes pre-numbered. It has the table of contents already laid out for you, and it also has those monthly layouts that I really enjoy at the very beginning. So overall, I'm really impressed with this goal book, and I can't wait to get started on it next year. My lighting just keeps changing. Well, that's all for today, guys. I hope this video brought you some utility and joy.